The one time. Yeah. The fucking one time. Anyways, before we get into this, welcome back. We're back.
For realsies for season 2.
Welcome back to Missing the Homies. This is the show where I bullshit with my
It's
homies.
Midnight.
It's quite literally midnight.
I worked until 9. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, you know. This trip
was to see me.
This trip was to hang out with people, and I have not hung out with people until so late in the day. Like yesterday, I hung out with.
We all got jobs.
I know, that's why I'm down for whatever. I'm down to roll through once people are free. But this month I have my illustrious friend Stasi,
the one who has cancer. I cannot believe that is the way people describe me. So how did you want to talk about season 2? We're ready.
Okay. So, starting off season 2, we finally regrouped and
we're trying really hard to not talk forever.
Yeah, true. Since we're starting this at midnight, we're trying
to be clear, this is 9 hours worth of content that we're trying to do in an hour.
We could do it.
No, we can't.
Well,
we have pea brains.
Well, we have not done it. We already did an hour.
Successfully, we have not done this.
So 9 hours of content in 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's more manageable. But I think the way we've broken it down into different groupings and plots have made the most sense.
We can definitely try.
Okay.
So we're starting with 11.
So 11.
Yeah.
11.
Sweet little baby, innocent angel.
Runs away.
Well, no. So we have to it really starts with her coming back from the upside down. Like last time we saw 11, she disintegrated.
She
disintegrated with the Demogorgon. We saw her with Hopper in the woods, but we see how she got out of the.
I still kind of don't understand her powers.
She's got telekinesis.
But how did she disappear then? How did she go into the upside down?
I think because she's so young, we're supposed to believe that she put all of her power into saving the group, and when she was getting rid of the Demogorgon, it was too much, so she just accidentally went with it.
But that has nothing to do with telekinesis.
Yeah, I don't actually know what her powers are.
So that's what I'm saying. Her powers are just kind of confusing.
They're telekinesis, but she's controlling things with her mind.
In my notes, I have that she's very much like a Jean Grey figure.
She's definitely supposed to be based off of that.
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, you get that from the first season.
Yeah, she is the Dark Phoenix.
Especially
minus the losing her mind situation. Because the Phoenix did not take over her. Or did she? Is the Phoenix a she or an it?
The Phoenix is a force of nature.
So it's an it.
It's an it.
Got it.
Non-binary. The Phoenix force is gender fluid.
I don't think anyone that's non-binary would go by it.
I don't know.
They'd go by they, them.
So sorry. We don't know the Phoenix's pronouns. Anyways, so
okay, so 11
goes on her mystic journey. Meets her sister.
You're really skipping over the Hopper part of this.
Oh yeah, I forget.
Wouldn't you want to start in the beginning? So we see her come back. We see her get with Hopper. They have that cute little thing where he's dancing, getting the cabin all set up. And she has her first home. That's her first bedroom. That's not a fucking closet. She gets real, obviously they're not real little girl clothes, but
she gets her own.
She gets her own clothes, her hair.
Yeah, her hair starts.
Petition for season 5 curls like that.
Oh my god.
And that's Millie Bobby Brown's hair just growing back in because she shaved her head for realsies.
So,
Luna, Miss Girl,
chilling. Luna, put your butt down.
She won't do that. You're actually making it worse.
Oh god.
But she gets her first room. She gets her first kind of taste of a parent, and Hopper, as we know, has already lost a child, so he's so overprotective and just has never had to parent a little teenage girl. They're 13. That's my note.
Hopper is giving
the little kids are 13.
Big Joel from The Last of Us vibes, which is crazy
because they both lost someone named Sarah and gained.
I saw that tweet and I was like, oh my god, I didn't even think about that. But yeah,
because what's her name in The Last of Us?
Ellie.
Yeah,
Ellie. They both had
you figured out.
They both had a Sarah and got an L.
Yeah, I wanted you to piece it together.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch The Last of Us.
Yeah, me too. I waited for you.
I literally. Do you know how many people have asked me?
Me too.
Because I love The Last of Us. Like when I was playing it, I was telling everybody.
You know, I don't play video games.
I know. I fucking love it.
Unless you count Animal Crossing, but only for the DS because I don't have a Switch.
But everybody's like, so have you watched it? Have you watched it yet? I'm like,
I'm watching Stranger Things season 4, baby.
Well, everybody's been like, you're so fucking late to Stranger Things. I was like, I know.
You're like, I know. I'm just doing it for this podcast.
But I have turned a couple of people into
Stranger Thing heads. I don't actually know what they're called.
Into strangers.
It probably is.
I have gotten a couple of people to be like, oh that sounds
I found Hopper/L.
Okay, so
I have Hopper and L. They do the cleaning up thing. They have their 3 rules.
I don't remember the rules.
They're like, don't open the door. We're not stupid.
Yeah.
And like, don't leave.
Keep the curtains closed.
Yeah.
So.
And then her little ghost Halloween costume. So cute.
Wait, she went out?
No. There's a scene where he's like making food and he like turns around and he's like, what the fuck? Because she's like with the sheet over her. That's so cute.
It's so sad.
And then we find out that she's been looking for like, what has it been, like 350 days or some shit? She's been looking.
It's been over a year.
Yeah, it's been over a year. She's been checking in on Mike. And Dustin
that was one of my
and
notes at the
Lucas.
very beginning, because I didn't know how much the time skip was, and when they literally said it's been 300.
It's been a year.
Mike is such a simp.
Yeah.
For Elle.
Yeah.
But that gets me to. Well, I mean, we've already talked about it. That goes into the D&D class, which we have to talk about.
That's last. We're going there last.
But I have on my...
I also have that Hopper is teaching, like, 11, like, words of the day.
I did really like that.
Like, giving her, like, how to tell time, because she only knows, like, that one thing
5,
from,
1,
like...
5.
Yeah, I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
When she's, like, in the truck later, and he's like, this is it, 5:15, and she goes, 5:15. Yes.
Yeah.
So cute.
So I know
she's the cutest little baby.
I know we said we were saving it till the end, but
yeah,
one of my favorite characters at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So I have it broken down.
You can do it that way.
So I have it broken down.
Give me your like OGs right now.
So at the very beginning,
if I say OG one more time, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. It's like the 5th time I've done it.
Keep going. Keep OGing. So my favorite character at the start of the season, was Dad Hopper.
Okay.
Like, because of their little relationship and
big
how
Daddy
he
Hop.
was like, I feel like it really started at the scene where they were cleaning up the cabin.
Yeah,
together.
the little dance.
Yeah, I was like,
it's so cute.
And it's. I felt the same way playing The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine being in that situation, like losing a kid, and then.
Trying to read my notes.
Taking in like a strange child, a strange special child
after losing your actual child.
And it's just like I mean, Hopper was really cool in the first season.
Yeah.
But
you get a taste of it.
And but I think in the second season he really like you can tell how much he just like loves wants
her,
to
but he's also so scared.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want that to happen again. But he also doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
This season? No, never mind.
Okay.
It's later season.
Okay, so Big Daddy Hop.
So I literally put Pop Hop.
Ew.
Pop Hop.
You can't call him that.
Why?
Because like Papa.
Oh. Oof. Yeah.
Oof.
Okay, so Dad Hopper.
Yikes. Big Daddy.
BDH. Oh,
I feel like that's like offensive somehow.
I don't like that.
I don't know what it could stand for,
Big
but
Daddy
it seems
Hopper.
wrong.
Then Lucas, because Lucas just stayed. And Bob was an instant fave.
You know, okay.
Instant top 3.
You texted me that, and that's so funny, because I know we're going to talk about him. I was so fucking weary of Bob the first time I watched this.
Really?
Like you were with Max. Like we were very opposite. I trusted Max with my life. But the second I saw Bob, I was like, it's just too good to be true. Which then once I realized what they were doing, I was like, oh, he's dead.
See,
I knew he was like, he was a foil.
For me, it was, what was it? It was when he figured out the map.
Yeah.
Not to jump too far ahead, but when they figured out that it was that all of the things that Will drew was
the vines.
I was like, oh, Bob is so no, you know what it was? It was when he did the terminal, when he snuck in and hacked the computer.
That's like episode 8.
Yeah, like at the very. Oh, okay. So then
That's
never
like
mind.
no, that would be hospital would be episode 6.
So when he figured out the map, I
Yeah.
was like, oh,
So because
Bob
we
is
decided
badass, but he's
that
gonna die.
we decided that Hopper got out of the tunnels in 5.
I literally my note is
6.
Bob gonna be a secret badass this season?
Yeah,
And he was.
okay.
Not
I'll
secret.
get back to Bob. Anyways.
Okay, so 11's journey.
Well, no, who's your? Oh, you said all 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said Lucas. I forgot.
Did you say that again?
Stop it.
Yeah. So
Lucas
yeah,
just,
11.
Lucas just stayed my favorite because I really liked Lucas.
So then, yeah, I love Lucas.
So 11's journey.
Again, my original note about Lucas is he's a perfect angel who's never done anything wrong in his life ever, and he never will.
Yeah, until season 4.
What did he do wrong in season 4? What did he do wrong in season 4?
We'll get.
No, tell me right now.
No, I have.
Cut it out.
I have thoughts. We'll get there.
He just wanted his friends to come to his basketball game.
He wanted to be popular.
Of course, he wanted to be
he joined
popular.
the witch
He's
hunt.
sick of getting called midnight.
Fair.
The racism.
I don't think him wanting them to come to the basketball game was wrong.
He just wanted
I'm
his
totally
friends.
with that. Anyways. So
Okay,
11's
yeah, so
journey.
11.
So 11 gets a
we
home.
get like the Hopper, and then they have that fight. And that fight, that's where you really see like Hopper doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Because he lost his kid when she was like 8.
Yeah.
And he's never had to experience
He's never gotten this far.
Again, they're 13.
Yeah.
Like a 13-year-old girl who's never left a lab except for like a brief week.
Yeah.
Like, no offense, but like, and this is
Yeah,
like,
just
it could be, this is like maybe a TMI, but that's like really when you start getting like your period. And like, she's experiencing life for the first time.
She literally ripped
and she's still
a
locked up. She went from
Demogorgon
one
in half.
She went from one like locked up to another.
Yeah, she went
like
to a
she's-
nicer prison.
Yeah, but like again, it's almost like obviously she's not being like, tortured and abused, but like she can't leave and she knows she's being lied to, and she keeps like, if you think about it, Hopper's leaving her for like 13 hours a day.
Yeah, she's just
like
sitting there
she's quite
watching
literally
TV.
sitting there watching TV. So she's learning about life through TV. So everything that she's learning about like life and friendships and relationships, that's all from TV. So of course she's going to go out there and be like, oh yes, this is what my perfect relationship should look like. This is how my dad should be treating me. This is how my friends should be treating me, because this is what you do when you're in love. This is what you do when you...
Crazy. I didn't even think about it like that.
Like, where else would she... Because Hopper's not teaching her that.
Yeah.
Luna, I swear
oh my
to
God, that's
Miss
so
Girl.
crazy. Luna.
Miss Girl.
She is.
So yeah, I have the fight. Where'd that go? Oh, okay. All I wrote was fight.
Okay.
But then over here I wrote Hopper and Elle talking about her leaving. So when she comes back, after this is like just talking about Hopper and Elle. When she comes back to Hawkins and they're in the car going to the gate and they're talking about her, like where she went. And he's like, where'd you go? Like, how'd you get there? And she's like, a truck.
A big truck.
And he's like, a truck?
A big
with
truck.
a man?
A big random truck with a
like,
random guy.
okay.
He was nice. What did she said? She
Yeah.
was like, he's nice.
Yeah. He's nice, was he?
Which
So cute. That, and when he's like, oh, your clothes are bitchin'.
I love.
Yeah, I literally wrote that.
I loved-
Because then he's like telling her about like the black hole, and like, I'm so sick of this.
No, it's just.
It's her fault. But like telling her like about like the black hole and like his daughter, and like her being like, where is your daughter? And him being like, well, that's my girl.
Yeah.
Where's she gone?
Rip. Big rip for
R.I.P.
Sarah. But I loved that they said bitchin'. One, because I love the word bitchin'.
Yeah.
I love the word bitchin' so much.
Yeah.
And the fact that they kept saying it, I was like, oh, God, I love the two of them.
Okay, I think that's on my Hopper and
Okay,
11
so then
notes.
we
'Cause
have
then
to
I've
talk
got
about her sister.
11 and Kali. So I had to listen so hard. She's 8. She's number 8.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was like, she's 9.
That's one of the...
It's literally because... So the season starts with Kali.
Yeah.
It starts with her doing that weird... Here's my real question. And this is like...
So,
it gets into season 4, unfortunately. What the fuck are all of their powers? Because in season 4, we see them all doing like the telekinesis shit, but then you see certain ones have better, like can do things with the lights that are, but like they also had to do like when they were pushing each other. So like how can Kali do that? Because she just like
So I
has
think
the
they
mind
all
illusion
have,
thing.
They all have different mental power.
But there was that scene where they're all like number 2 and 11 in season 4 get into that weird fight thing where they have to push each other out of the circles.
Yeah.
I think they changed their minds after season 2.
See,
Do you think that too?
This is the one thing, like, I really have enjoyed the show, but that's one thing where I'm kind of just like, I kind of just don't think about
You're
it.
so heavy.
And I'm just like, oh, whatever.
Okay,
because the power sets, the powers
that's totally fair.
are not consistent.
Yeah.
Especially like in the last season, I was like, wait.
Well, she didn't.
I can do that too because she just decided she could.
Yeah. I feel like 11's powers are like if she thinks that she can do it.
Yeah, which is
I feel like because she can like just turn things on with her mind.
Which is like kind of
like a cheap,
kind of lazy,
yeah.
but also.
But again,
she is just.
I mean,
magical.
she can't hear your. Can't you hear your thoughts? She can get into your brain.
Yeah.
But like she can't she's not like an Edward Cullen. She's not just like hearing the thoughts. I had to bring up Twilight. She can't just like hear like the thought that you're thinking right now. At least I don't think so. Because she can see you. We see that in season 3 when she's like spying.
Yeah.
But I don't think she can like look you dead in the eye and be like,
no.
I know what you're thinking.
She can mega mind you.
So yeah.
So Elle's powers are kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I did like Kali's
mental projection. We've got her friends that are like weird, but like they're outcasts. My confusion is like Kali's the only one that's like, you know, trying to get these people from, because like her whole storyline is that they're trying to take down the people from the lab that like maybe don't work at the lab anymore, that like retired, and they're taking them out. They're fucking killing them.
They're a group of assassins.
Yeah, but like, why is everyone else in on it?
I think just
are they like, they're not like getting money?
Yeah, they are. They're robbing them.
Okay, but like, not enough to like justify.
No, 100%.
Yeah, it's not like they're like blackmailing for millions of dollars.
That's why I thought Kali was sort of influencing them with
but it doesn't seem like she is. She's because there's like that whole scene when Elle comes in and they show like the spiders on the one dude with the mohawk.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, he's afraid of them. And he's like, get the fuck out of my head. Like, why would you stick around for that if you didn't have to?
Yeah. I don't know
either.
Not very clear, but also doesn't come back. So I'm like.
So that's okay. So like episode 7. Episode 7, we literally only focus on 11's story. She's with her sister. At this point, she's left her mom, which we'll come back to. And
okay. So
yeah, we have to come back to that. This season. Yeah, it is. So she leaves.
We're definitely not going to get through all of this.
No, she leaves her mom's. She goes to Kali, and she finds her because her mom kind of put it into her head. Blah blah blah. Yeah. But the whole plot is that she can find people. 11 can find people, and Kali wants to use and abuse that power. I do think she loves Elle. I think she missed her sister, but also she wants to keep going with what she's doing.
She 100% wants to just keep killing everybody she can from the lab.
She's definitely going to, like, she used this, but she's taking advantage of her. I said the same thing about Mike. Yes, I did.
Well, you said once I got past season 1, you're like, oh, get ready. They're going to say, you're going to hear the lab a lot. And I feel like I didn't hear it that much. Like, yes.
They said it in season 2 so many times.
Yes, they said it. I feel like they didn't say it that much.
Oh, they did. It's a drinking game. Also, Kali, like, how was she, like, they had this whole thing about, like, how she was, like, taken. So that completely defeats my, like, a theory from last time that, like, these kids were, like pregnant by, like, Brenner, like, making them be pregnant.
No.
Because she was taken as like a child, not as a baby.
But Elle was made.
Elle was. But my like original theory was like, do you think Brenner is like doing these like, because we learn about Terry Ives, which is 11's mother.
Yeah.
Her biological mom.
We're going to have to come back to this for season 4 because I have maybe I'll understand it when I rewatch it.
Yeah, because we know based off of 1, we learned about 1 in season 4. We know based off of him, he had powers when he was a child. He was born with them. From 11, we know she was born with them, but she kind of got like her mom was like biologically they were manipulated from Henry 1.
They did shit to Terry.
But then like so Kali we see she's like a 5-year-old in her like missing poster. So it's like she was taken. She wasn't like born like 11 was into this.
So that's probably why.
So that's my like, do we think, I don't know. It does. I think season 2 is kind of like a wild card because that's the thing with season 2 is like season 7, episode 7. So I remember telling you going into it, I wonder what your like episode 7 reaction will be because it is the most polarizing episode of Stranger Things. And when you're doing a Stranger Things rewatch, people will be like, oh, what's the one episode you skip? It's this one. Season 2, episode 7. And I think it's because it's just focusing on 11. It's a storyline that once you watch it once, you know what happens. It's not like anything else is happening. My thing is, I like the episode. I do. I would also skip it in a rewatch because guess what? It doesn't come back. If it comes back in season 5, okay. But as of this point, we never hear about Kylie again.
So the way I have been treating this show is like a D&D campaign.
As someone who's never played D&D.
As somebody who has played D&D. It's very much, well, I mean, it's kind of video game logic. Like, Elle left to go on a side quest.
Yeah, she went on her quest.
She went on her own personal quest. So even if in this next season, Kali and her crew never come back, I think the fact that Elle went she had
to do this side quest.
She went on her own and like developed that confidence in herself and
the whole
in her
point
skills.
Of it,
that is, I think that's just
it's definitely necessary to the original plot.
Yeah.
But I can see why so many people are like, yeah, I'm not going to rewatch it because like it
doesn't need to.
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like the storyline, yes, we need it for 11. 11 needs to learn to go and grow on her own.
It was also
kind of
anticlimactic.
It really was.
It's like
and like
action. I'm gonna do.
I really wanted to like the storyline with Kylie. I just like didn't care, and it was so bad. I think that's why they never brought her back. Mm-hmm. But like, I would love to see her come back for 5. I don't necessarily need the friends. I would love to see Kylie come back for season 5. I think that would be really cool, especially after season 4 when we really learn more about the lab. But at this point, it's kind of boring because it hasn't come back up yet.
Maybe she could help.
Well, I hope she comes back for 5. I do.
So that's getting further.
So that's like that whole episode. That's like 11's whole story arc this season is kind of that she needs to learn and grow her powers herself and be independent, and she's not just like a creation of the lab.
So that's how it mirrors 4. I see it now.
That's not even what I was going to bring up.
Oh, okay.
There's so much more, but yes.
Okay.
That's like a part of it. It is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
that wasn't like my main one, but
okay, so let's leave 11.
Well, hold on, because we have to literally just a little bit talk about her mom.
Okay.
Did you like my favorite thing is like her mom has powers?
I was confused by that. So actually, it's good that we're not skipping over it.
So we see again Terry Ives and Becky, 11's aunt.
Yeah. And
like 11's gonna go live there with them. I'm confused because Becky's like, they kept your nursery like this. Like Terry always kept your nursery like this. Shoot, like Terry doesn't say anything except like that little code. So how does Becky know?
Yeah.
But like I do appreciate her taking care of her sister. But once again, 11 has walked into another adult saying like, oh, I trust, like you have my protection. I'm not going to do anything. And then calls her back someone else.
Yeah.
And at least this time she was calling Hopper and not like social services. Like,
R.I.P. She called the police.
She called the police, but she was calling for Hopper.
Oh,
she's calling like
Benny,
the Hawkins. Yeah, she's calling the Hawkins police because she's saying like well, at least that's what I took from it, because she's saying a police officer came here before, like Hopper. So in my mind, I thought she was trying to call like for Hopper again.
I get what you're saying.
That's what I thought at least.
So how did she? Oh, because she did. So she had the power. I literally made a note.
Because she like flickered with the lights to get 11 to follow them. And then they got into the head space. And that's where that's how she knows about Kali.
Because she got experimented on with MK Ultra.
Yeah. So that's
a real thing.
So again, that's where I'm trying to figure out how 11 or like Kali or how these people.
So maybe that's why 11 has the powers that she does, because Terry
that's what I was
had
because when she was pregnant
a base level power and then got pregnant, and
but then how did Kali get hers?
Well, so
because Callie was a 5-year-old who would have been experimented on.
Right, but Terry got experimented on.
Yeah.
So they probably just did the same thing to Callie, but it worked because Terry was earlier, so she was even more of an experiment.
And then do you think 11's powers are like so much stronger? Because we're led to believe, especially in season 4, that 11 is like the most powerful of all the kids. Special. So do you think it's because she came from a mom who was experimented on, had powers, and then they probably experimented more on her too? So she already had powers, and then they added to it.
So if we go to
Scarlet Witch of them.
So if we go to
subsection 2.
If we go to subsection D&D classes of my notes, 11.
She's a mage.
So mage, yes, is kind of just like a magic user.
Yeah, I think I said that when I was talking about Will.
But I got more specific.
Okay.
So the D&D class of sorcerer,
our queen 11
is 11 would be the sorcerer in the party. Because sorcery is
she does magic.
But sorcery.
Not the handwritten note.
I know, right? So sorcery in D&D refers to like somebody who is born with magical ability.
I did read this.
11. So you did your
research.
You did your research and deep dive on the fanfics, and I was
I did research on the parties class too.
But I was in the D&D wiki going no, not in the dark web.
I was on the D&D wiki too.
Oh, sick. So we
but I did it for Elle. We didn't get to it, but I did it for the party members.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, because
I got Mike, I got Lucas, I got Dustin and Will.
Okay, so I'll come back to the other ones, but
11 was a mage. She's the magic user because she's born with it, and she does her little spells and shit.
Sorcerer is the word. That's
okay. Harry Potter.
That's it. Whoa. We don't talk about.
Keep bringing it up.
Him. Okay. Going to the teens.
Well, hold on, because I had one more thing about 11.
Stassi, we are not going to get through all of this.
I had one more thing about 11. And I guess I could use it when it's with the other kids, too. Yeah. But it was just that when she does sneak out and she does be like, I'm going to go find Mike, and she sees him with Max, which obviously we haven't talked about Max yet, which is why it could be with that. But when you really get a sense of she does not know she can't use her powers for everything when she flips Max off that skateboard. Mm-hmm. Because think about it, Max could have fucking died.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Lucas. When she flung him, she flings Max.
She has to learn how to use her powers.
She doesn't know that she's still learning that yes, I have my powers, but you can't let your emotions control it. Season 4.
100%.
Same thing. And that's why when it's like, okay, what the fuck? Why did you do that? It's the same thing here of, hey, girlie, you could have killed Max.
Yeah.
She's on wheels. If she would have hit her head wrong,
she's fucked.
So like it goes into her then going and learning like I can control my powers, all this.
Okay, so going into Max.
And then going back to the kids because she wants to save them. Because at the end of the day, she's a good little girl who's going to save her friends.
Yes. Elle is
our queen.
Elle loves.
And we do end with her becoming Jane. Season 2 ends. She gets the birth certificate. She's officially Jane Hopper, the daughter of Terry Ives and Jim Hopper.
Oh.
That's what the birth certificate says.
Oh.
She's Jane Hopper. Middle name redacted. Probably Eleanor.
So, okay. So then going into Max.
Yeah, Max.
So Max.
We meet Max. She's the younger sister of Billy.
So Max
of fan fiction fame.
So Max's D&D class. Is
they call her a Zoomer.
So Zoomer is what she said, but that's not a real.
There is another term.
So there's a homebrew class called a speedster, which is.
I know. I read that too.
So funny. Also, the Flash movie is supposed to be really good
with Ezra Miller.
I know.
We can't. I swear to God, do not watch that movie.
It's supposed to be so
You
good.
can't support
Ezra Miller. And it's restarting the
They
DCU.
literally kidnapped people. A baby was found chewing on a bullet with the gun next to it.
I didn't know he was that bad.
They.
I didn't know they were that bad.
They're that bad, and anytime they get arrested for something, they say, well, you're just homophobic and you won't give me the right pronouns.
Oh my God. Okay.
They have like what are they called? Like warrants for their arrest out like every fucking state and country.
Yeah, weren't they?
It's crazy
weren't
that
they
like,
wanted in Hawaii?
what's his name? Like like Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Like he got canceled as Superman after like teasing him to come back, and they were.
Why did he get? He didn't get.
They
canceled.
said they did. He quit. The Witcher.
He quit The Witcher.
He quit that because they're bringing him back for Superman.
But
that movie got shelved.
He quit The Witcher because they
wanted to give it to Liam.
No, because he was going back and forth with the writers because Henry Cavill. I have come to really appreciate Henry Cavill, and I haven't done enough research into him. But he's a huge fucking nerd.
Yeah,
he's a huge nerd too.
Well, they shelved his Superman movie, so Superman it's canceled.
Yeah, I don't know what the whole thing that happened. Yeah, The Rock fucked it up.
He fucked up the DC.
But Henry Cavill got into it with the writers of The Witcher.
He definitely reads fan fiction
because he was reading the Witcher books, and he's like,
this characterization is wrong.
This is not true to the source material. Yeah. And he was like giving them notes, and they're like, no, we don't want to do this. And he's like, well, if you guys don't, I'm going to walk.
Anyways, speedster.
Okay, so anyway, Max is a speedster, which
Max Mayfield.
Which is just like the Flash. But
yes,
I think Max would also be good as a rogue.
I always see her as like a fighter when people talk about her.
No.
She's got a lot of things.
I think she's...
Oh, you were really weird in that one.
What?
Like you came through on this one only.
I think she's better as a rogue because the characteristics of rogue are sneaky and stealthy.
Ooh, okay, fun.
Because of her whole running away bit, which comes more into the later seasons.
But like that was more like with like Lucas.
No. I'm talking like that's more into the later seasons.
Oh, when she like walks away.
I was more thinking like physically runs away.
Physically runs away.
So that's why she's a good rogue, but that's again later. Yeah, car, skateboard, running away.
Yeah.
Cuz season 2 is when she drives, right? Or is that season 3?
It's season 2. So pause on Max, go back to the teens.
What about him?
Okay, so we get... Were you as shocked as I was that Steve and Nancy were still together when the season started?
Yeah, I completely... Well,
I know we got that clip. Like, I was shocked at the end of season 1 at the Christmas clip when they had, like, Nancy, like, sit down with Steve. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah, because
we really built up Jonathan and Nancy. And Jonathan, like, they get into that argument in this season of, like, her being like, oh, like, what happened? In my notes like, what happened between us after the shared, like, the scar on their hand. And he was like, I waited. Or she was like, I waited for you. And he was like, for, like, a month.
Yeah.
He called her out.
Because that's why I
like,
appreciate Jonathan.
Nancy, like, couldn't hold off for, like, a month after, like, Jonathan's baby brother came back from the fucking dead.
Literally.
You couldn't.
Zombie boy.
Like, I love you, Nance. But, like, season 2 Nancy is my least favorite.
The Wheeler.
She's like, I get it. She's going through so much trauma.
The Wheeler
and you
household.
You didn't like Mike this season because he's being a little bitch boy. But also, like, think of the trauma those two. Yeah. Look at Ted. And then you find out Karen's trying to fuck a 17-year-old.
Crazy.
Okay. Oh, that's something. Okay. So
that's one of the teens, Billy Hargrove.
the baby kids, they're 13.
Yeah.
So they're 13. Nancy is got to be, she's 16 by now because she's driving.
Because did Steve graduate at that point?
No, Steve is a senior now. So the Jonathan, Nancy, and Billy are juniors. Steve is a senior, which means Eddie's like a second-time senior.
He's a super
unknowing.
Senior. He's a super senior.
And then the kids are in 8th grade.
Okay, so the teens are
juniors essentially, and then Steve's a senior.
I like how they did that. Like,
yeah.
They made Steve.
And then Robin, who we don't know yet, would be a junior.
Oh, yeah, because we don't meet her until
till next season. Well, we meet her at, like, the summer of this, so...
Yeah, but season 3 is the summer
of this this year.
Yeah.
So this is 1984.
Yeah, because
we skipped a whole year.
Because the sign... Anyways, that was how I time stamped it, because it said...
They just said it.
There's a presidential sign.
Oh, Reagan.
Sign. Yeah, it
Reagan.
Reagan 84.
Yeah, but like that Wheeler household, fucked. Because, so again, remember we talked about Nancy. Like,
what is Holly doing through all of this?
I would love more of Holly.
Why, like
that poor girl? She knows nothing. Also, there's such an age gap between like Nancy and Holly.
Why
there's like 10
introduce
years. Because they're a perfect nuclear family. They've got to have 3 kids.
It's so weird.
I think she was supposed to be like their Band-Aid kid of like, you know.
Yeah.
Can't believe they had sex.
Fucking Ted is the worst.
Never mind. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
So we get Nancy. And I get it. She's going through the trauma.
Yeah,
she lost her best friend.
So the teen...
She kind of realized she was in love with Jonathan, but she's still with Steve. She's like deeply depressed over Barb. Like definitely. And not just Barb, but the fact that the lab is getting away with it. Well, and Barb's family doesn't know.
The scene with
the dinner.
Steve, Nancy, and Barb's parents was fucking brutal.
It was almost confusing because Steve was like almost playing like dumb with it to the point that I was like, does Steve not know?
Yeah.
Like what happened? But we know that Steve knows. So it's like either Steve is playing his part to filth or he's just trying to be a normal kid.
That's
which
where
we know that
later
he's doing.
Later in their arc, everybody is so fucked up with seeing this literal lab in their town.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's still up and running, and it's not the same people, which we get with Owens. But it's like, yeah, but the lab never got in trouble. As far as Barb's parents are concerned, Barb ran away.
Yeah, Barb is still missing.
They don't know that she's dead.
Which is how they introduced Murray.
That's how we get our King Murray.
Which
I love Brett Gelman.
I hated Murray at the very beginning.
I love Brett Gelman.
Just because of the line.
Love Murray.
The line that they said.
The don't bleed the family dry.
Yeah. I was like, wow, Murray's a scumbag.
Yeah.
But as soon as he came on the screen.
But he was right. He knew something was fucked up about it.
That's why like.
He was literally
within 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I like him. Yeah. Brett Gelman. This is my fun fact. So Brett Gelman is in The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
I hate Mark Wahlberg.
I know you hate Mark Wahlberg, but The Other Guys, one of my favorite movies of all time. And he plays... Oh, I literally made notes. He plays Christina's wife, or Christina's husband, Will Ferrell's ex's new husband. And he has a line, which I think every single time I see him, and he goes, so I know you think because of this beard, I'm probably really hairy. And he's got like this big turtleneck on, and he goes, but under this, shaved.
I hate it.
And they show Murray, and that's the scene that goes through my head. I'm like, I can't believe that this guy is going to be a mainstay. I
was so happy they made him.
I loved him. I thought he was great because that's the only thing I had ever seen him in.
Yeah.
I lie. He's been in a lot of
You're like, I've actually seen him in all of these other things.
Yeah, but my point of reference is always The Other Guys.
That's fair.
But I guess he doesn't kick ass in this season.
No,
but he's so
because this is him finding out.
Yeah.
As far as he was like, I know something's fucked, but he thought it was the Russians. Yeah. Which season 3, but
which Murray is ahead of the curve.
Yeah, Murray's king in season 3 and 4.
So that's the teens arc. Well,
that's
Jonathan and
you
Nancy.
have to break the teens. So
Jonathan and Nancy meet up
Jonathan
with Murray.
and Nancy are really good friends.
Yeah.
They get invited to that Halloween party. I don't know if you noticed this, but Jonathan and Nancy and Steve are eating lunch together. Well, and then
Nancy invites Jonathan.
Jonathan, that was what I was gonna say. The girl is handing out flyers to her party.
And
skips Jonathan.
Totally.
And Nancy is like, "Can I get another?" Gives it to him. And then we get that scene after Halloween of them on Jonathan's car eating lunch, paralleled in season 4 with Will and Mike on a car drinking a 7-Up.
Oh.
Yes. There's a lot of parallels between 2 and 4.
So Jonathan.
So
and
yeah,
Nancy,
Jonathan spent the
before
last year taking care of his family,
and then before that,
and we have Steve and
after
Nancy
that.
are back together,
But then
and
they
so they have a nasty breakup.
Yeah. What? What kicks it off again?
So they went to the party.
The party.
And
because
because it goes back to the
Nancy
the
said
thing.
she didn't love him,
Nasty.
which was tough.
She called it bullshit.
Yeah.
Not just
That was.
I don't love you. Like we're in love. It's bullshit. Steve is full in love with this girl. He thinks that his girlfriend of a year loves him back, and she's like, "Nah, it's bullshit." And then the next day, when he left her at the party,
which
fucked up,
but also,
he had his heart broken. But she was drunk.
Yeah.
But that was fucked up with Steve.
But
again, we're
Jonathan.
still in douchebag. Yeah, we see that, and Jonathan, I do think Jonathan covered for him there and was like, no, Steve asked me, but we don't see that.
But I think
physically see that. I don't know if Steve actually
to give Steve the benefit of the doubt. I think he saw Jonathan and was like,
I can see that
he can take care of her.
But then we have
he
that
really
whole scene
sees
where
them
Jonathan.
later.
So this is cute. Jonathan being like, I'm gonna take you home, and takes like young Nancy, who's obliterated,
young Nancy,
punch everywhere, puts her to bed, and then you have. Side note: we have Mike doing the same thing for Will.
Yeah.
Exact same scene.
Because Mike is.
He says, I'm going to take you home, and then takes Will to his house.
Because Mike is glued to Will
this season. Yeah. But back to the teens.
So the teens.
Just to finish them off.
So Nancy.
So they break up, and that pushes Nancy to be like, fuck this, I'm taking down the lab. And that pushes her and Jonathan to go to Murray.
Because she's so racked with guilt
because of Barb. Because Barb didn't make it, but Will did. And again, she's looking at her little brother's best friend every day being like, I'm so happy you're home, but I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Because my best friend didn't make it home, and I can't even tell her family. And her family thinks she's coming back.
And she still thinks it's her fault because
she 100%
told Barb
is
to
never
leave.
Not going to blame herself the same way Jonathan is never going to not blame himself.
Which is crazy.
I can't believe people would blame them. Like, I can't believe they would blame themselves. Like, none of that was their faults.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jonathan and Nancy, we get them kind of coming together, but there is this like weird distinction of they definitely fucked on Murray's couch when
100%.
Nancy and Steve technically hadn't broken up. If you think about it, like they never had an official breakup because Steve was on his way back to apologize to her to get back together, to break up their fight. It's not a breakup. It's a, hey, we got to fight. And that's when Dustin comes in, which I think we get the best of Steve.
Yes.
With Dustin.
Steve and Dustin really needed each other.
Yeah.
The bromance.
So this is where we kind of get into, like, we leave the Jonathan and
the
Nancy.
The teens real quick.
Yeah.
So Jonathan and Nancy go to Murray to blow up the lab.
And they have to water it down to get the story.
Which
so
I really liked.
Instead of, like, hey, there's a whole alternate universe.
I really liked Murray's, because for as crazy as Murray was.
He's right.
He was so right, and he took the crazy that was really the reality and was like, no, you gotta bring it down for people. And I was like, wow.
I thought it was weird that he was giving like 16-year-olds vodka though.
It was super weird.
I get it was the 80s, but it gave me big like John Wayne Gacy vibes.
He was a creep.
I would never say that about Murray. It was just the vibes.
Yeah, Murray was a weirdo. He lived in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. He's got the security camera that we see again in season 3 of Look at the Camera. That's the intercom. Look at the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I really loved Murray. I thought he was really cool.
And then we get
and then Steve is with Dustin.
So we get the Jonathan and Nancy. They fuck definitely on the pull-out couch, and they spend like days together.
Well, yeah, because they're together the whole time.
Because they skip school on Friday, and they go to Murray. Well, no, they go to the lab first, and then Murray, and then they come back and everyone's in the hospital being the lab.
And then where's Billy?
Billy's vibing.
He hadn't gotten infected yet.
He's getting kicked, like his ass kicked by his dad.
Yeah. Oh, that's another note that I had.
Neil's
I said, what the fuck is Max's dad? That scene
where like Max's mom is just like
I said, what the fuck is Max's dad really?
Well, that's not Max's dad. That's just Billy's dad.
Oh, Billy's dad.
That's Billy's dad. I think they said Max's dad is still in California.
Yeah.
That's something she and Lucas talk about in the van. Or the bus. But yeah, so Jonathan and Nancy, they're with Murray, so they kind of disappear. So Nancy definitely, in my mind, cheats on Steve.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is season 2 the episode in the hospital with the blob?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.